Welcome to episode 2 of the Becoming Debt-Free series. I'm Erica and welcome to Build Your Moxie. Here, I teach you how to be smart with your money so you can enjoy life to the fullest. During this series, I'll be sharing our process of how we paid off over $300,000 in under 3 years and became free from all consumer debt. I'll be sharing practical steps and encouragement along the way. I'm hoping that if you have debt, you'll be encouraged to pay it off, feel more equipped, and ultimately be free. If you haven't seen episode 1, I'll be sure to link it below. This episode is going to be covering where to start when it comes to paying off your debt. I'll be breaking it down into a few steps. Okay, the very first important step is to make sure if you want to become debt-free that you're not taking on any more debt. This is a really great way to crush all your progress. In future episodes, I'll be discussing strategies on how to not take on more debt and how to be more in control of your spending. But in the meantime, do your best to not take out any more debt. Now is a great time to think if the thing that you're buying is a want or a need. Wants can wait. Okay, the next thing you want to do when trying to become debt-free is to figure out how much you actually owe. Surprisingly, it's pretty common for a lot of people to not know how much they actually owe. If you have multiple debts, you gotta list that out. I'm talking about anything and everything that you owe money on. I'm talking student loans, medical debt, department store credit cards, or any money that you borrowed from your family and friends. If you have a house that is not paid off, we're gonna continue making payments on that, but do not include that in this list. Right now, we are focusing on getting out of consumer debt. If you don't have any consumer debt but want to pay off your house, then these videos will still apply to you. Also, good work. Also, I have a free download in the description below. This handout will help keep you organized so you know what debts you have. Now, it can be scary facing how much debt you have, but you got this. Can't move forward if your eyes are always closed. Don't be frozen with analysis paralysis. In episode 1, I discussed knowing your why. Why do you want to get out of debt? Your why will help you when you are discouraged along your journey. So download the handout and list out your debts. You got this. The next thing you want to do is figure out when you want to be out of debt. Do you want to be debt-free in 40 years, 15 years, 5 years, or sooner than that? For us, our original plan was to try to pay off all of our student loans within 10 years. But once we got fired up, it became 5 years, then 4 years, then 3 years, then eventually it just became 2 years and 8 months. I would recommend trying to get out of debt as fast as possible because the longer you're in debt, the more interest you'll have to pay. Interest is the price you pay to borrow money. So when you carry around debt and pay interest, it really is like throwing money out the window. So try to figure out when you want to be out of debt and stick to it or go faster. The next thing you're going to want to do is get familiar with the website that you're going to be making payments on. What is the process if you wanted to pay a little extra toward a certain loan? For me, if I wanted to pay more in addition to the monthly payment, I had to call my company and tell them specifically that this is the money I want to put towards this loan. But my husband, on the other hand, he was able to do everything online. Also, side note, some companies are able to give you a little percentage discount if you're able to put your monthly minimum payments on autopay. So that is something you should be checking for. The next thing you're going to want to do is figure out how much you can afford to pay towards your debt each month. This will help you figure out if your timeline is realistic or not. In order to do that, you're going to have to create a budget. With a budget, the goal is to assign a purpose to every dollar, whether that's to give, save, or spend. The way to pay off your debt quickly is to be as intentional with your money as you can. We didn't let any dollars go unchecked, and that helped us big time. If we made $5,000 a month, we made sure that every single dollar had a purpose, whether that was to pay our rent or tithe to church or pay off the debt. Every dollar had a purpose and nothing went unchecked. If you aren't too great at budgeting or you want to see how we did it, take a look in the description below where I'll link my budgeting videos. I go over the 4 steps of budgeting and also include a monthly budget printable that you can download for free. If you're a computer person like me and you like to have your numbers auto-calculate, I'll also link my budget Excel spreadsheet and Google Sheet in the description below. Alright, so figuring out how much you can afford. Let's say after you've done your budget, you can now put $1,000 towards paying off your debt. That brings us to the next step. Now in this step, your goal each month is to continue making minimum payments on all your debts, but allot any extra money you have towards the principal amount of the loan you want to attack. In this case, we said $1,000 as an example. So you're going to take that $1,000 and put that towards the principal of the loan you want to attack. Now, some people will say to pay your extra money that you earned toward the interest that's accruing on your credit card or your student loans, but don't do that. You want to throw that extra money that you earned towards the principal of the loan that you're trying to pay off. If you pay your extra money towards the interest, then you're basically just paying the loan company and you're not chipping away at the principal amount. Your loan will be harder to get rid of. It's like trying to get rid of a tree and just cutting off a tree branch. That tree branch is just going to grow back. If you're wanting to get rid of a tree, you're going to have to get it at the roots. So that's why we pay any extra money towards the principal amount. If you're putting it towards the interest, you are working against your goal. Instead, just attack that principal amount of the loan that you're trying to wipe out. Annihilate that sucker. In the next episode, I'm going to be covering which loan you should attack first and different debt payment strategies. I'll be sharing the method we used, which was a very fast debt payment method, to pay off over $300,000 in under 3 years. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and stay tuned for the next few episodes of the Becoming Debt-Free series. I'll link the other episodes to the Debt-Free series right here.